can do an intro.
Yeah.
All right, we're all set. Once again, formally, very good morning, everybody. And for those in India, very good evening. Welcome to this webinar on diet and nutrition, especially specific to weight loss. And we've been doing a series of such webinars with Dr. Nikhila, and this is the third one. So you already know Dr. Nikhila, especially if you've attended the past two. Otherwise, Dr. Nikhila is an Ayurvedic doctor, and she works at Sri Sri Ayurvedic College in Bangalore, and of course has a lot of experience outside of the teaching job itself. And so we welcome her. Nikhila, welcome to the practice. Namaskara.
Thank you.
And we will be having a 35-40 minutes of an explanation or a discussion with Dr. Nikhila, where she'll continue where she left out last time. And we will definitely have time for question and answers. And that's probably the important part, because Ayurveda is more of specific to an individual, even though there is generic knowledge and principles available, but at the end of the day, for it to make sense, it has to be relevant to that individual. And which is why the question and answers and your personal queries is going to be very important. So we will have enough time for question and answers. Let me hand it over to Dr. Nikhila. Those who've just joined us, very good morning. Welcome to the webinar. Dr. Nikhila, you want me to share your screen? Okay, let me make you host as well. You want me to make the host?
Co-host, you can make me co-host.
Okay, I'm doing that right away. Over to you, Nikhila.
Yeah.
Anybody has any questions? You can either make a note of it, because we have a question and answer session. If it's something to do with the slide and the immediate topic and you want a little clarity, you can raise your hand or send some questions in the comment box. Over to you, Nikhila.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you have been introspecting about the last 2 weeks last two talks. So last time we discussed about Prakriti, and very briefly what are the doshas and all, and what food etc. could be kind of compatible for you, right? So I hope you have filled in the questionnaire, and it's a very gross and very generalized questionnaire, which will give you understanding about towards what your Prakriti is leaning into. But actually, Prakriti analysis will be much more detailed. If you visit a doctor, Ayurveda doctor, he will have a much more detailed understanding. You might find other sites if you browse on the Google, wherein a much more detailed Prakriti analysis will be given. Even Government of India has started Prakriti analysis series also. You can check like CCRS websites, etc. But this one, even if it is very short, it will give you an idea about your Prakriti. And based on the score, if you decide all the 3 doshas, you will get scores. Okay, so if one score is very high compared to the other 2, that means your Prakriti has majority of that particular dosha. If 2 scores are
Dr. Nikhila, just a moment, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
No interview. Your sound is a little broken. I don't know if it's your headphones. Can you please check?
Okay, just give me a second.
Meanwhile, the dosha.
Now I should. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so continuing, if one dosha score you find high compared to the other 2, that means that particular dosha is major in your constitution. If two scores are nearby, maybe with a little bit of difference, then your prakriti is made of those two doshas. Okay, and if the three scores are nearly equal with slight difference, then that means your prakriti is made up of all the three doshas, in a sama prakriti kind of way. So I'll send out certain regulations, rules and regulations regarding dietetics, etc., for the three prakriti in the next week, and it might help you to or guide you towards having a better understanding for what you should eat, what you should consume, etc. So in the first week, we discussed what all foods are conducive towards weight loss. And in second week, we tried to understand the food which is more compatible to one's prakriti or constitution, right? So today we'll discuss about rules of eating. Now, why is it so important to understand about the rules of the eating? When you consume food, of course, it's not about etiquettes as to table manners, etc. But yeah, it does touch those points as well. So here is the quotation which kind of highlights this one quotation only we'll be discussing today. This is from Charaka Samhita. It is one of the major texts of Ayurveda. Okay, so here it is more like, let us start from the next line, that is Ushnam Snigdham Matravat Jirne Viryam Aviruddham Ishta Deshi Ishta Sarvopakaranam Na Atidrutam Na Vilambitam Ajalpan Ahasam Tanmana Bhunjita Atman Abhisamiksha Samyak. Let us expand each one of these. Okay, so the first one is Ushnam Ashniya. That means consume freshly prepared warm food. Okay, so I understand that most of you will be working and you won't have much time to every time cook and consume the food, right? So at least make sure that at least one meal of the day you're consuming freshly. Okay, your freshly prepared food. So why is this different? So what happens when you consume very like warm food, just freshly prepared warm food, is it is much more lighter, it is easier for you to digest, it won't create any issues. Okay, and it kind of helps to function all the different sections of your digestive system in a uneventful manner, okay, without hampering anything. So your digestion in your stomach is properly happening, and once it is absorbed, digestion in your liver, pancreas, etc., all these organs also, the digestion is happening properly, the tissues are formed properly. So it's not just about your consuming and the food is converted into the waste product or something. Okay, it's about the food is converted into energy that you are using for your day-to-day life. So what happens when you consume freshly prepared food? The food is not at all spoiled. It is very, very light and it can be digested very easily. Now, why do we say this? There is a gap between the two meals. Okay, so minimum gap, we say that it should be at least 3 to 4 hours gap between the main meal. Now, if you are consuming food in between, like small segments, if you are making food, it doesn't matter, the quantity sometimes doesn't matter. Once you consume anything, even if you consume water, the digestion starts. Okay, and after some time, if you are consuming something, the digestion is in the midway, and then you are putting something again. So it's like half-baked food versus raw food, right? So it is always better to give a proper gap, and when you consume this food which is freshly prepared, the proper gap will be maintained. Like you will get proper hunger after 4 hours, and your stomach is ready to receive the next food. Okay, if you have questions, we'll deal with the questions again later. I'll just go through the at least 10 to 11 slides I have. Now, Matravat Ashniya, that means proper quantity of the food. So how to understand what quantity is right for me? By simple test that you when you start eating food, your stomach will start to fill, right? So slowly after some time, you will understand that your stomach is full, and that is the quantity. Now, this is complete stomach full quantity. Now, we want to stop before you are feeling full. Okay, so yeah, you can have a couple of experiments. Don't try to fix yourself that, okay, I need one bowl of rice, one bread, flattened bread, or anything like this. Okay, don't try to fix like that. Just be mindful and start observing yourself that when you feel full. Okay, so next time, whatever the quantity made you feel full, just try to have a little bit less, so that maybe like around 20% less of what your usual food this is. It will actually help in reducing weight, and it will give a little bit of space in the stomach to have proper digestion movements, etc. Fine. So that is very, very helpful. Now, Snigdham Ashniya, that means your food should have enough antis dietary items. Special reference to, or a special stress to, cow's milk and ghee. I know cow's milk is not as it used to be, like in maybe our mother, our grandparents, etc., how they used to get the cow's milk. The quantity or quality is not similar right now. But yes, the government has standardized all the criteria, right? If we say cow's milk, how much percentage of fat should be there and all. So if you can consume the milk which is having similar constituency like that of cow, it is very, very good for your health. It is balancing this ghee, etc., especially cow's ghee. Again, coming back to cow's ghee, that which is yellow in color, it helps to provide oiling which is required for the food to get properly digested. And then it is very rich in fat soluble vitamins, and even the food has some fat soluble vitamins, right? So it helps to absorb them, and the body can absorb these kind of fats pretty easily. Okay, so it ensures that all kinds of vitamins, etc., are properly absorbed in the body. And then he also helps to what you say, ease the passage of vata, that is like a kind of the process of digestion, whatever is happening in best possible way. You will not have constipation, you will not have gas troubles, like different burping or extension of abdomen, etc., pain in abdomen. All these issues will not be there if you consume a little bit of ghee. But the quantity of ghee is very important. You can hardly have 5 gram to 10 gram of ghee, that is it, in a day, I'm saying. Okay, so in the meal you can have half a spoon of ghee with every meal, if considering you take 2 to 3 meals per day. So that is more than enough. Or in breakfast, you can have a glass of warm cow's milk. That is enough. You don't need to add ghee again. But in lunch or dinner, you can add a small spoonful, a teaspoonful of ghee. That is more than enough. Okay, then coming to the next one, Jirne Ashniyat. Consume the food only when you are hungry. That means the previous food what you have taken is digested. Okay, so that is when the body will start to feel hunger. But then there are two kinds of hungers. One is false hunger pangs. So what happens when you decide, when you usually take food? Okay, so for example, morning 8:30 I consume breakfast, lunch by 12:30, dinner by 8 o'clock, 7:38. If this time is maintained for like it becomes a routine, so what happens, the body will have its own alarm system which will initiate a hunger feeling, that yes, your time to consume food is coming up, so be ready, have food. But if it is a false hunger pang, you wait till 8:30. Say for example, breakfast you have at 8:30, you wait till 8:30, the feeling of hunger will go away. Okay, if your stomach is not ready to receive the food. But if your stomach is ready to receive the food, the feeling will intensify. So at that point of time, you can consume food. Okay, but make sure hunger is the criteria to consume the food, not time. Okay, you can adjust it. It might take a little bit of exercise from your part, maybe 4 to 5 days to break the habit of routine and to make hunger as the criteria. But yes, you can reach there, and then your body will be much more happy with you. Okay, and then come.
Sorry, Dr. Nikhila, the voice is still a little, I would say, maybe the mic is, yeah, that sound,
Okay.
when you touch, that's what's happening. I think it's on your collar, touching your
Okay.
throat.
Okay. Fine. So is it okay? Uh, is it disturbing still?
Yeah. No, and now
Okay.
I don't hear that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, okay, fine. So the next one is Virya Aviruddham Ashniyat. That means Virya is a potency, what we say. We usually consider this is a representative, these quotations are representative quotations, okay? So here, two opposing things we are speaking about. It might be hot and cold, mixing hot and cold, or mixing sour with sweet, anything which is opposite. Okay, so that should not be done. So viruddha is a big this. We will deal with viruddha in the coming this. But then try to consume food which is not opposing to each other, which is compatible. Okay, so many times the best examples for these is the fruit salad, which contains sour and sweet fruits and milk, maybe custard or something like this. Okay, so what happens when you mix sour into milk? It splits, right? So that means it is not very compatible. Yes, if you are preparing cottage cheese and all, that is a different thing. Okay, but on a day-to-day basis, if you are mixing ice cream with hot coffee or ice cream with hot chocolate or sour and sweet fruits, so all these are what you say, hot cake with a side of like a cold ice cream or something like this. Okay, so try to avoid these two extremes mixing. So that will definitely lead to, that will eliminate most of this virya viruddhas. Okay, then coming to ishta deshe ashniyat. So clean and suitable place of eating. Why is this so important? We are not very much particular about how you consume, what cutlery you use. Yes, we do uh, um, go for lean into comfortable cutlery, etc. But when you consume food in a clean and suitable place, your mind is comfortable. Okay, so you feel very refreshed, and when you enjoy what you are eating. Okay, so it becomes much more better. This, you are not getting disturbed. You are not feeling any feelings like uncomfortable feelings when you see around. Okay, that is very important. Now coming to avoid consumption of food in haste. Ati drutam, ati vilambitam, very slow consuming. What happens when you consume fast in food in a very hasty manner? The food might kind of enter. There are two pipes here. One is windpipe and the other one is the pipe for the food. Okay, they are very, very side by side. And then there is a common track, a small space where both are common, where it passes. And if you are not very, very conscious about how you are degluting, okay, or how you are consuming the food might skip and enter into your windpipe, and it might choke, right? You might have experienced choking this events in the past. So that is why we usually ask not to consume in a haste, and avoid very slow consumption. Sometimes what happens, people watch television or something, or they read, and then the food becomes very cold, and you are still eating, consuming. The stomach has a capacity, it will send a signal to the mind, like, or the mind will have also influence over the stomach. So it what you say, kind of makes a understanding that after certain time period the food consumption is done, and your hunger will start to reduce. Okay, so maybe you have consumed very little less amount of food, and you are already full, you feel full, you don't feel like eating the whole food whatever you have taken in your plate, right? So that's why it's better to avoid very slow consumption of the food. Okay, so both ends for that matter. Okay, then coming to Hasan Tanmana Bhunjita, that is, try to take food without distractions and with full concentration on your food. See, this is something, when you're consuming food, it is something sacred. We say we compare it to as if making prayer. Okay, what you say, kind of a prayer when you do, how much concentration and how much what you say invested you are. In the same way, when you consume food, you should be invested, because see, that is what is giving us energy, right? We don't have anything else. Whatever we do in our life is towards this. We cannot survive without consuming food, and that is the truth that we have to accept, and we have to give it its importance. So distraction and these any talking or laughing, etc., will kind of hamper with the food progression, how the digestion goes on, and it might even lead to choking also. So it's always better. It doesn't mean that you should not enjoy the food with your friends. Yes, you can enjoy, but when you are consuming, just to that moment, you don't speak while you are eating. Actually, you can deglute it, you can take it in, and then you can speak. Okay, so yeah, then coming to the last one and very, very important one, Atmana Abhisamiksha Bhunjita. That is, when you consume food, you have to be in a state of self-realization. What does self-realization mean? I'm not speaking about yogic self-realization, but in a way, self-realization, that is what is good for me, what is not good for me. In that way, you have contemplated about the food, what you are consuming, when I'm consuming it, what I'm consuming along with the sides. Okay, water or alcohol, etc. So all these things matter a lot. So when you are thinking about it and you are understanding what all should constitute on your plate, it should kind of have a place in your plate. It should deserve the place in your plate because it is good for you. Okay, so in that way, if you are doing some contemplation and then consuming the food, that is awesome. Okay, then you will never get any food related health issues. Okay, so we have this famous quotation, pathe sati gadardasya kim aushada nishevanaihi. Pathe asati gadardasya kim aushada nishevanaihi. What does this mean? It's a very tricky one. Okay, you can observe the last half of both the sentences is same. Okay, pathya means proper dietetics. Okay, it might be proper constitutions, that is dietary items, or it might be the way how you consume it, the timings how you consume it, and everything. Okay, so if you are consuming food by abiding to these proper rules and introspection and everything, then you never need any medication. Your food itself becomes medicine for you. Any kind of health issue you have, you can correct it with proper food. But if you're not following these dietetic rules, if you're not contemplating what you're eating, okay, then no medicine can help you. No matter how many medicines you take, it won't help you. Okay, so that is it. I'll pause here and I'll take the questions. Yeah, should I stop the this screen
You
share?
have some more slides, Dr. Nikhila?
No, that's it. That's it.
That's it. Okay. So we'll open up for questions. Maybe you did talk about the general, I mean, understanding of those principles. Now, if anybody has any specific questions related to these,
you can ask, because these principles are more like what you say. You might feel they are very textbooky principles, but if you have any questions, I can give you options to apply to your life. Okay.
Amit was asking, what if we feel hungry at different times every day? So one day you feel it at 8, next day maybe at 9:30, maybe it's, it's changing. So what is the best way to consume if it is changing like that?
Yeah, you should. Okay, I do get a lot of questions, and especially people who work at night also. In between night time also they will get hunger. Okay, that becomes the fourth meal or something like this. Okay, so what happens? Uh, you have to make sure that if you try to keep 3 to 4 hour difference, okay, between two meals minimum, that is. But if you're not able to keep that difference, that means either of the two things. One, you're not consuming enough quantity of food which is required for your body, okay, for your stomach to be full. Second one, you are in a indigestion state, which kind of keep giving you a false hunger pang. Okay, so the one of the two things might be there. So you can start with first trying to wait till you get hunger. When you get hunger, just pause for 5 to 10 more minutes. Okay, sometimes if your stomach is giving you a false signal, it will pass. You will not feel hunger anymore. But if your hunger intensify, then have proper quantity of food. Okay, it might be like whatever quantity you feel with till you have stomach full. Okay, and try not to consume water before or after the food. Okay, in between the meals, in between your morsels, you can sip the water. It will help to clean your tongue. That's it. Just sip by sip of water. That's it, nothing more. So if you can do this, and then slowly you might need a couple of days to train your hunger. I suppose you will stop feeling hunger in between. But still, if your digestion, some people have very fast digestive system. If your digestion is pretty fast, then what you can do is in between you can fill the small hunger pangs with fruits, etc. But don't drink fruit juice, but fruits itself, whole fruit. If you're eating, if you're chewing it nicely and consuming, the brain will have a feeling that you have eaten so much of food. Plus, fruits are very easy to digest and absorb also. Okay, so it won't give much disturbance to the next meal. So you can definitely have fruits.
Thank you, Doctor. Please, everybody, mute your mics. Only when you have to ask questions, you're most welcome to unmute and ask question. I think Simaji, you might have to mute your mic, and Tana and Cooper as well. If you can keep it muted, that'll be helpful. Any questions? I don't see questions here on the chat box, but if you want to ask questions, that'll be fantastic. Anybody wants to ask any questions regarding the food discipline? Now you could say.
Hi, this is Sumati. Yeah, I have a question. I have a question. So, do we have any chart or any guidance which tells us that what all foods to eat, what time of the day, and especially what fruits or food not to take together? Right. So, I hear a lot of times from my dad or my grandmother. She used to tell me that, not to eat this with that, or, this is not good. Don't take water just after fruits. So there are so many things, which if there is a chart which we can follow, that'll be really good.
Yeah, definitely. See, those are called as incompatible food items. So that's what I was speaking about, Virya Viruddha, that is mixing hot and cold, mixing sour and sweet, etc. Fine. We will discuss it in a little bit more detail in the next talk. But yes, there is a chart. But then let me come to the first part of your question, that what food to consume when. Okay, so it's a very important question, very nice question actually. See, what happens, we usually say that the daytime, there is a saying that you have to consume heavy breakfast, etc., right, in different this and the dinner should be, yeah. So dinner should be at the lighter side. So yes, that is very true. So you plan anything which is heavy, like if you are eating paneer, cheese, or curd, etc., such food items, then you consume it in the daytime, either in the breakfast or in the lunch. Okay. Try not to keep it during dinner time. So dinner should be very, very light, dalia kind of things, or fulkas, or like simple, proper breads, which have properly roasted breads, which are not too fermented kind of varieties. Those are very good. And anything like, you can even have fruits for your dinner, or you can have salads, or a simple small bowl of different millets. Okay, either cooked millets, or any form of millets are also fine. Porridge, etc. Also you can have. Those are very good for you, especially considering you all are trying to reduce weight. Try to keep it as light as possible. Try not to have milk products during night, especially a big no to curd or yogurt, or any flavored yogurts, anything, whatever it might be. You might feel like they're fruit yogurts, they must be very light, but no, they are still heavy. Cheese, etc. Try to avoid. Try to keep lighter this. And then in the daytime, definitely you can go for different yogurt, etc. But when you consume yogurt or curd, try to add a pinch of pepper powder to it, so that it doesn't make you it makes food very heavy. So it helps to digest the yogurt in the best possible way. So a pinch of pepper would be best. But if you are trying to reduce weight, then don't go for more milk products. You can use milk and ghee. Milk, that too, skimmed milk is the best one. But don't go for too much of fat avoidance as well. A little bit of fat is always good. Butter and ghee you can definitely have in your food. But the other variants like cheese, paneer, curd, you better avoid if you are reducing weight. And in breakfast, you can definitely have comfortable amount of food.
Okay. Yep. Thanks. That helps.
Okay.
I have a follow-up question to that, Dr. Nikhila. So obviously this food, what kind of food to eat, especially, I mean, you said heavier, if you're eating anything heavier, have it during the day and lighter during the night. Similarly, what kind of a choice of food should we make based on seasons or even geographical difference, say in a cold country, or say if you're in a tropical side of the world? I mean, even there, I think our food choice of the ingredients that we need to pick differs, right? And so I just wanted to your opinion on that.
Yeah, definitely. The climate, geography, everything matters a lot. That's why we usually have, the nature provides the seasonal foods, which kind of counteract the seasonal effect as well. See, environment has effect on us. The cold environment actually increases hunger. You feel like whenever it is rainy and cold, you want to eat something very spicy and oily, fried food, etc. Right? So that means the body reacts to the environment around us, right? So every season has a set of environmental factors, like either it is cold or very hot or it is wet, right? See, these three things usually permutation and combination in different seasons, any country for that matter. See, in India we do have 6 sets of seasons, in variations. Again, in southern and northern India it differs. In other parts of world there are around 4 sets of seasons only, and like this the season varies. But then you can fix it with either very cold, very hot, or rainy season. Okay, these 3 factors remain. So maybe variations. Now, whenever it is cold, your digestion is very good. You can consume good amount of fat, etc. You are able to digest any heavy type of food. So heavy millet food, like especially German breads, if you consider, those are very, very rich in millets and seeds. Different seeds are added. Even a slice of German bread is more than enough. It becomes a whole meal. Okay, so something like that you can definitely have. But if it is hot season, then what happens, your digestion is not that up to mark. So you can resort to a little bit softer food items. The quantity also you can reduce. You feel like drinking more water, so more you can keep yourself hydrated. Juices, fruits are very good choice when it is summer. the seasonal fruits especially. Try not to have non-seasonal fruits whenever possible. Try to go for seasonal fruit items or seasonal dietary items. Vegetables also, some vegetables are seasonal. Try to understand those. And nowadays everything is available all around this year and everywhere in the world, but try to understand what is native to that place where you are living, and what seasonal fruits, dietary items, etc. are grown there, and try to consume that. It will definitely help you to maintain your health in the best possible scenario. Okay, and this in rainy season especially, try not to consume too much of water, watery food items especially. Try to go for, if even if you are drinking water, transfer liquid diet of yours. Approximately we say that for a normal healthy person, around 2.5 to 3 liters of water is minimum for consumption. Okay, but yes, it depends. If it is summer, then the consumption of water should increase. If it is rainy season, the consumption should decrease slightly, and try to have water which is warm and charged with either ginger, or you can even have mint seeds, this leaves, all these things. Okay, so these definitely will help you to refine your hunger. To see, hunger is the main thing which should be maintained. You should feel proper hunger at proper time. That means your digestive system is working at its best, so you can plan accordingly. Sorry, I deviated the answer to back to hunger, I suppose.
Thank you. Anybody has any other questions for Doctor?
Hi, so I stay in Toronto, Canada, and here, of course, weather is mostly cold. And unlike India, we drink water right directly from tap. And
Yeah.
So some people have suggested you should always store water for some time in a vessel and then have it. And also some people is it right every day if I store it in a vessel and then add some slices of cucumber, blueberries and stuff, is it good to have such water on regular basis?
Yes, of course, you can have charged waters are very, very good. You can even store the water in copper vessel, or any silver lining vessels are available nowadays. Silver and copper are the two metals that kind of give release charges, ions, which are very beneficial to us. They kind of protect our body. Even water purifiers are nowadays available with copper lining and all, right? If you don't have silver or copper, it is okay to store the water in glass, because glass doesn't react much. So that is also fine. You can have direct tap water also. That is not at all bad. But yes, purity matters. In India, we don't get that level of purity of water. That's why we don't recommend tap water. But yeah, in Canada, you can definitely go for tap water. But storing water is, if you store water only if you want to charge it with certain items. You can charge it with ginger, or some cumin seeds, or even this
slices of lemon.
Yeah,
lemon slices.
That is very good. Especially in summers, you can even put some cucumber and mint leaves. The bottles are available which have a central storing this, wherein you can put these things, and then you can put the water around them, and then you can drink it. It is very, very beneficial. But you can change the content of what you charge the water with depending on the season. In summer, etc., you can definitely go for cucumber or lemon, mint, these things. And in rainy seasons, you can go for ginger, mint leaves, even cumin seeds, etc. And in winter, you can actually go for, actually the digestion is good, so plain water also you can have. That is also fine. Or you can go for a ginger or something.
Ginger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for such a nice session. I also have a question.
Please.
I'm also located in Canada and headquarter placed in Toronto. So a couple things, what makes a difference, and I concur with Aarti. Because it's so cold, we don't get to even go out. And now people working from home and all that, we don't get to even consume enough calories, which we consume, let's say, during breakfast and lunch. So what if you had your regular meal, but you couldn't digest in a way that you don't even feel hungry during dinner time, but your gap is 6 hours or 8 hours, but you don't feel like eating anything? Maybe it's because you're not hungry or you're not feeling, and even if you are, but you feel that your calorie intake is high. How do you balance that from a perspective of calorie count versus hunger and versus not even feeling hungry at all? How do you handle that?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question. It's the other side of feeling repeated hunger. Okay. So the first thing is hunger. If you're not feeling hunger, it is usually what happens if we are not doing enough bodily activities, we are not walking, exercising, or we are not moving around. Because when you go for work outside, you walk, etc., you talk. So all these energy expenditure happens, and then the body has burned whatever energy is there. This is stored, food is digested, and then the body is ready to receive food, right? So when you are sitting at home, this doesn't happen. So the body doesn't require, so it doesn't tell you that it needs food. Okay, so the first thing would be you exercise. Even if you are at home, you do yoga, you try to work out, you clean your house or something in some or the other manner. Try to make sure that the day's expenditure of energy quota is met. Okay, and then if you are still not feeling hunger, then what you can do is, I'm a big fan of ginger, so I'll give you more of these kind of small home remedies. What you can do, fresh ginger you can take and make thin slices of the ginger, and on them add a little bit of rock salt, and then you can consume it. You chew it nicely before your every meal. Okay, before breakfast, lunch, dinner. So chew it nicely, enjoy the juices that are coming out, and then you start eating your food. Okay, so even if you are not hungry, slowly that ginger has, it is a very powerful herb which will help to digest the food, and then it will slowly reset your hunger for the proper this. Maybe the quantity you can reduce a little bit. Try to include, don't drink water before and after meals. Drink water sip by sip during when your consumption of the food, and if possible, charge the water with cumin seeds. Okay, cumin seeds are also very good digestive that they will help you feel the hunger. But this is not like a magic potion. As soon as you start, you will start to feel hunger. This has to be repeated for maybe 4 to 5 days, up to 7 days. And then you will start to feel hunger at proper times, I'm sure. Okay, and seasoning the food whenever you are preparing food, if possible, if you have Indian stores nearby, there is a this herb, this extract called as hingu, that is asafoetida. Asafoetida is a kind of a exudate of the plant, and if you can get that, and maybe a pinch of it you prepare when you're preparing your food, you add to it before you add your other food items with ghee or oil. That also helps to kind of reinstall the hunger a bit. Okay, so these are simple home remedies which you can use, which will help to increase the hunger. So this is regarding the part where you don't feel hunger. Okay, this will definitely help you to feel hunger. Now, the calorie part. We usually say for a healthy adult with a proper weight, around 2000 kilocalories of this food is required. Okay, but if you are on a heavier side, then you need less calories. What you can do is you can compensate it with food which has high water intake. Like you can add salads, you can add fruits to your diet, which will help to maintain the quantity in a proper way, but the calories are less. If you're on a lighter side, then you can load up with calorie rich food as well. Of course, you need salads, etc., because they are very good sources of fiber, but then load up on a little bit higher side of calorie. You can include cheese. Cheese is also a very good source of calcium and vitamins. And you can load up on a little bit more of butter, etc. Such food items. And cereals are good source of carbohydrates. You can increase intake of cereals along with protein. So that will help in maintaining the calorie requirement as well. See, even if you're not feeling hungry, you maintain less amount of food itself, so that when you start feeling hunger, you can slowly go on increasing the quantity of the food and the calorie intake in the coming days. Okay, so give a 7 days trial period. I hope this answers your question.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Thank you so much for the detailed explanation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Can you?
Hi. Hi, my name is Rekha. So I'm also from Canada, but it's in the northern part of Canada, and it's a very remote place. So I'm in a very remote place of a community of 900 people only. Yeah,
Okay.
and the temperatures goes about -40, -55. So
Oh my God.
it's very cold, and as you were talking about fresh foods and fresh fruits and vegetables, so it's very difficult for us to get it here. So it takes a weeks and like you can say 15 days if you order also. So like in those time, like I use like frozen vegetables. So what are the other alternatives for like what can I have? Because I do use most of our Indians. I'm a vegetarian, so it goes like I always use dal, all those what do you call kardhanya, what you call all the legumes and all stuff. But what are the other alternatives for fresh vegetables or fruits then?
It's fine. Even if you don't get fresh vegetables, the stress is in consuming food when it is freshly cooked. Okay, but as soon as you prepare, if you can consume, that is the best one. We give how every medicine has a shelf life, right? So everything has a shelf life. So even food has a shelf life. The best time to consume food is when it is still warm. Okay, so that's why we try to keep it warm for a longer duration. So as soon as you cook, if you are consuming it, that is best. Even if it is freezed vegetables, we do prefer fresh vegetables, but that is fine. If you are unable to get it, freezed vegetables are also okay. Frozen beans, etc. You can definitely eat. But try to consume the food when it is warm. So that is the best period. But then if it is not possible, you can have still a small window period till it is good. That is around 2 to 3 hours after cooking. Still, it is in a good place that you can consume the food and it will give proper benefits to you. But as the delay goes on happening, the nourishment, what it should give to our body, the quality of the nourishment keeps reducing. Okay, so if you have cooked it in the morning and you are consuming it at the night, the quality of nourishment is very, very less. But yes, it depends on what category of food it is. There are certain food items which can be kept for long duration, like pickles, etc. Their shelf life is different, right? But the day-to-day food which is cooked, like maybe bread or the rotis kind of food, rice kind of food, vegetables and all, they have very short lifespan. For them, you take care, and yes, that is also enough.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Anybody else has a question? Rekha, thank you for your question.
Dr. Nikhila, I have a question for you. So we are
Yeah.
starting the weight loss challenge at Shvasa from Monday onwards. So any recommendations that you would like to give so that before the practice, something that you can consume so that you're energized during the entire session, or maybe after the yoga practice, what are the things that you can probably include that will help you recover for the next session even better? Any suggestions would be really helpful.
Yeah. The best one I would suggest is these charged waters. Okay, so before you go for, we usually say that you should be empty stomach when you go for yoga or any yoga related practices or exercises. But sometimes what happens, we are very, very hungry. So for example, if we get up in the morning and we have a yoga session in the morning, you have been empty stomach throughout the night, and then you start to feel hunger and low in energy, you won't be able to participate completely. So at such moments, what you can do is consume half a glass of milk. Okay, half a glass of milk is more than enough. Like it at the max 30 to 60 ml of milk. That's it. Okay, so that will help in sustaining you in best possible way till the session finishes. And maybe after session, don't consume the food immediately. Give a gap. You can have refreshing water. Any charged waters are very good for you. Cumin charged water is good for you. Different this ajwain charged water is also good for you. It will actually prepare you for consumption of the breakfast in best possible way. Barley water is one more thing I would recommend if you are trying to reduce water, weight. Barley water will help you to take out whatever excess water storage has happened. See what happens, the fat cells kind of store the water, and there are different variations in the fat cells, but in one kind where the cells kind of become big by storing excess amount of water and fat. Okay, so the first approach towards reducing weight or excess fat is to shrink those fat molecules. Okay, so that can happen with the food or drinks which kind of help to drain out the water from your body, and barley water is one of the best. Okay, it will help you reduce weight, it will help you reduce excess of inflammation in your body, especially if you have any conditions like diabetes, thyroid, or liver related any hepatomegaly, etc. It will help you reduce that in a best possible scenario. Okay, so you can consume barley water as frequently as possible, and then after a certain small gap, you can go for proper breakfast. Okay, but make sure that there is a gap. If there is light breakfast, minimum 2 hours of gap should be there, minimum 2 hours. Or if it is on a little bit heavier side, don't take chance, give at least 3 to 4 hours of gap before the yoga practice or any other such physical practice. Okay, so try to have small bouts of warm liquid in between if you feel hungry during the yoga sessions. Okay, you can sip water. Warm water is very good. Charged or what you can do is you can take normal water with a little bit of honey in it. Honey is also very good for you to reduce weight. So you can charge the water, but don't take hot water and put honey in it. Let the water cool down and then add honey to it, and then you can in between sip it while your practice. Also it will energize you, it will give you instant energy, but at the same time it will be acting the background to reduce your weight as well. Okay, honey water is very good.
Is milk and honey a good combination?
Yes, definitely, but not warm milk and honey. Okay. Milk in room temperature and then honey.
Understood.
Thank you, Nikhila. Talking about weight loss, we've just completed the first 1 month challenge of weight loss. And we found that a lot of them, about 70 of them participated, and most of them did throughout the 4 weeks and lost anywhere between 2.5 to 3, but some have lost even more. And
Oh, that's
so
great.
I think that's a very good start. And also just practice combined with the diet part is very crucial, and also the lifestyle part becomes very important. The sleep and the people we meet and kind of mental activities we get into, the emotions that we experience. I think all of them contribute. So, and the other point is, I think 1 month is a very good start, but I think weight loss itself or any health that we need to set, longer we take to bring it in, the more stable it is. I think it stays for much longer even when you stop doing the activity. So weight is very clearly one such aspect of ourselves. Longer we take to lose it, and if you're consistent with it, the longer it stays with us. And I think it's a healthy way of losing weight. Slow losing weight is a healthier way.
Yes, I would like all the practitioners, medical practitioners would definitely recommend a constant, like a smaller goal itself. A constant weight reduction is always good. If you suddenly lose the weight, see, there are so many different, even diet wise, there are different practices like wherein keto, etc., wherein you suddenly lose the weight. Okay, it's not at all healthy. Yeah, some transformed variant of keto we also follow in Ayurveda, but we never go for complete avoidance of a particular category of food item totally. We will never recommend, because you kind of need the vitamins, etc. It's the body is made up of food what we consume. So never aim at reducing your weight drastically in a very short span. It will definitely have bad effect on your organs. It will give a load of work on your organs, which are very vital, which are very difficult to replace. It's not that easy. You have to make sure that you are maintaining health of your this, but a constant practice is always the best one. Maybe you might reap less benefits at the current moment, but believe me, as you go on practicing, keep a year's goal, constant repeated such sessions, wherein in a year you are reducing maybe 10 kgs or something like this, or maybe 6 years. It depends. See what happens. There are different body types. As I said, kapha kind of people, they lose weight very, very slowly. No matter how strict you are, the weight reduction rate is very slow. You have to understand your body and be kind to your body. Do not overexert yourself or overthink that you're not losing weight. Don't get concerned too much about it. It's okay. It is a pace. It is how the best way to go forward is to have the consistency. Never lose hope. Never stop in between. Keep keep your goal in your mind and work towards it. That is the best way. There are other prakriti people like vata prakriti people or pitta prakriti people who lose the weight very fast. They gain the weight, but then they lose weight also very fast. So for them, don't get annoyed that the other person is reducing weight very fast and I'm not reducing. Okay, it is a process and everybody is different, and you have to be kind towards yourself and be consistent towards it. And the people who reduce weight fast, they also gain weight fast. So you have to make sure that you are consistent in your practices so that you don't gain back the weight that you have lost. Okay, yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Doctor. So the next one is starting Monday. Like Dr. Nikhila was saying, it makes sense to have it over a long period of time, and that's what we've done. We have this weight loss classes specific to weight loss. In general, you could do asana practice. That's good too. But we have some specific weight loss classes that will be long term. So don't have to stop just because you finished a month. Give yourself some more time. The next one is starting on Monday, and then it will continue. Then again in March and April. So slow.
Hey, Pradeep, I have a question. This is Sumati. So to join the sessions from Monday, I am based out of New York. So what are the timings, and can I get all those details from
Sumati,
your
we'll
app?
reach out to you. I've made a note of that right away.
Thanks.
So I will send you the timings.
Okay, thank you so much.
So all
Dr.
the very
Nikhila,
best
I have
for
another
everything.
question for you.
Please.
Amit,
Yes.
I think Pradeep, you got it. Maybe you can
No, go ahead. I'll just make
I was hearing about your message about infusing the water and having in copper vessel and all that. Just a quick question. What if based on the features of the copper vessel and the ginger slices and lemon and all that, can you infuse ginger slices, mint, honey, lemon slices in copper vessel and consume it from there?
I
Because
wouldn't
they're-
suggest, like you can keep the water in copper vessel for some time and take it out, keep it in a glass vessel and then add ginger, etc. That would be better. That would be best practice, because sometimes what happens, these interact, the copper is very fast to interact with different this, so it might start to corrode. It's not like harmful to the body, but then the vessel will get spoiled and it will not liberate the proper required amount of copper that is needed to charge the water. So you can keep
Okay.
the both this separate. So you can
and even honey?
honey also. Honey, it doesn't react in that strong way, but we don't know which all honey you will get. Okay, so there are different types of honey and different sources of honey, like depending on flower, etc., bees, etc. So it's better to keep it in a glass vessel. Glass is a best one, non-reactive vessel, which will give you, you can reap full benefits of whatever you are infusing the water with, right? So it's always better to have glass. You can have a small, like glass, this which has a dispenser attached to it, so you can store anything what you are charging to it, and then you can consume
Or
from
another
there.
metal bottle
Yeah,
is okay as well, right?
yeah, steel is okay.
Steel.
I suppose steel doesn't
Okay.
react much. Steel is also fine.
Okay.
But copper, if you want to use, you keep the water for in copper vessel at least for half an hour, and then transfer it to other vessel, and then you can charge the water.
Can you leave the water in the copper vessel overnight and then consume it in the morning?
Yes, that is awesome. That is very good. That is always the best practice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Copper vessel, I think.
Yes.
All right.
Then I have a question. I didn't get a chance to ask.
Sonia,
Yes,
yes. Quick question.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, sorry. So,
You go on.
doctor, I have a lot of water retention problem, and
Okay.
like I can't exercise for long. Like I get exhausted very soon and very quickly. And the last 1 year has been very tiring, and my job is all sitting there. So,
Okay.
and my iron level is also very low. That might be the reason that my energy levels are not
Yes.
coming. So I'm having tablets, trying to cook in an iron vessel, but nothing is helping me out. So what is your suggestion for that?
The best way is, see, the body sometimes will not take iron unless there is, see, there is an intrinsic factor which helps to bind the iron from your food and absorb it, right? So you just go for another test, like your vitamin B levels, different vitamin B levels. If that is low, then no matter how much iron you are consuming, it will not get absorbed. Sorry, this is a very personal question, but I need to ask, are your stools blackish or dark colored?
Because I'm having the iron tablet, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that means your body is not able to absorb it nicely. Okay, it is just getting wasted. So the best one would be the food. So the berries are best. These are the seasons when berries will start to come up. So you can go for cranberries, raisins, dates. These are very good for you. Early morning, you can have fistful of any of these berries and consume it. Sour food is always good for you. So lemon juice, orange, etc. Colored fruit items, you can definitely go for kiwi, etc., which are rich in mineral. So those kind of fruits you can consume. And then even salads, in salads also, beetroot, etc., you can add so that, but make sure that you're chewing it nicely, because sometimes what happens if we don't chew it nicely, already when you have low hemoglobin, your digestion also will be less. So you will feel a bit improper digestion if you have more of salad. So chew it nicely, and consume coriander charged water, coriander seed charged water. That is very good for you. You can use the seasonings of basil and coriander, or such different varieties of herbs which are very good for you. Even kadi patta, if it is available there, we say that it is a very good source of iron. So what happens, these are the sources which are already processed iron, which is processed by the plant, and then you are consuming it. So it is nearly halfway there for you, and you can absorb it, your body can absorb it very nicely. So always these foods are good. You can prepare smoothies out of dates, or these raisin soaked raisins, etc. Badam is good with the outer cover. So these dry fruits are very good for you. You can definitely include them more in your diet. It will help you to regain to some extent.
But then it all aids to weight gain also, right? So that's a very slippery slope.
No,
If
no,
I take,
no.
no.
No. Berries and all are very good sources of natural sugar. Yes, I agree. But these sugars, the food related sugars, especially which come from berries and dry fruits, are not that hard to digest. If you do simple workout also, you will digest the sugar. Okay, the complex sugars are the one which come from fried food items, or carbonated drinks, or even cheese, etc. Those are complex ones which take a lot of time to get properly digested and thrown out of the body. But the fruits and berries, etc., those are very good for you. You can definitely have it. Include a little bit of fiber rich fruits, orange, etc., tangerines. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I think we are just gone past our stipulated time,
Yeah.
but welcome. Some of you can, if you want to stay back and talk, that'll be fine, I guess. We are anyway recording all this, so people might want to watch this when they're free. Just read out one last comment. Rachna Khanna has mentioned, my experience of consistent practice of yoga has automatically reduced unnecessary hunger. And yoga has helped me to become more mindful, and that is what is needed. I think the talk about the chemicals, chemical components of the food, or superfoods, and the ingredients is what fills up any place where we talk about diet or diet for weight loss. But we miss out on so many other very important factors. I mean, the topic for today itself was about small things in habits. Food ingredient is one part, but how you consume it, and with what, and the combinations, the place you will consume it, and what are you doing with your senses while you're consuming it, talking, laughing, a few of those things that you mentioned, and also the state of mind. I think without that, no matter how great a superfood you consume, or how great a chemical combination of the right food that you consume, I think it's still half. So it's important that we look at this aspect, which is very much overlooked, and especially in the modern day when we eat alone. So obviously we are not really following some of these rules.
Yeah, there is a whole branch of food psychology.
Food psychology. Okay. Yeah. And so I think today's topic was very important, I would say, because this is not emphasized enough anywhere. It's always a certain chemical and a certain diet that has come up and become popular, a certain a trend that is happening, rather than something that we need to do every single day with every food, no matter what food you eat.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we'll close here. Thank you, Dr. Nikhila, for this third episode on diet, especially targeting weight loss, weight management. Yeah. And thank all of you for participating on a weekend. Hope to see you in the classrooms. We just talked about how we were on a good footing, but we need to continue. This is like health and keeping up health is a lifelong activity, and it should continue throughout. And so wishing all of you a fantastic weekend. Take care. Namaste.
All the best. Thank you
Thank
very
so
much
much,
for
Dr. Nikhila.
having
Thank you
me.
so much, Pradeep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonia, Seema.